Well, Donald Trump will continue to talk about waging a Vladimir Putin-style invasion of Venezuela every day that Donald Trump's old friend, the sex trafficker and rapist Jeffrey Epstein, continues to make life difficult for Donald Trump. And the dead Jeffrey Epstein shows no sign of loosening his grip on Donald Trump. And so today, when haunting photographs of an Epstein crime scene were made public, and Jeffrey Epstein's convicted co-conspirator in sex trafficking, Ghislaine Maxwell, another old friend of Donald Trump's, told a judge through her lawyer that she intends to file a long-shot appeal with that judge, even after the United States Supreme Court denied her appeal, Donald Trump talked once again about waging a war against a country that has never posed a threat to the security of the United States in any way and never will. Here is Donald Trump saying things today that would have gotten any other president removed from office through the 25th Amendment because of failing mental health.
I think you're going to find that there's a very receptive ear to doing exactly what they're doing, taking out those boats. And very soon we're going to start doing it on land, too, because we know every route, we know every house, we know where they manufacture this crap, we know where they put it all together. And I think you're going to see it very soon on land also.
He knows nothing. And that's not going to happen. There will be no invasion of Venezuela. But Donald Trump knows he has to heighten the insanity of his warmongering every day that his old friend Jeffrey Epstein makes news, as Jeffrey Epstein did once again today with the release of photographs of his private island 2 miles off the shore of St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The photographs, in and of themselves, don't reveal anything significant yet or anything that we can easily interpret yet. But we know the kind of suffering that occurred on Jeffrey Epstein's island, where he brought girls as young as 11 years old to rape them during the years he was Donald Trump's closest friend. A lawsuit filed by the Attorney General of the Virgin Islands said this: Epstein used his wealth and power to create the Epstein enterprise, which engaged in a pattern of criminal activity in the Virgin Islands by repeatedly procuring and subjecting underage girls and young women to unlawful sexual conduct, sex trafficking, and forced labor. The Epstein enterprise engaged in a pattern of criminal activity in the Virgin Islands and elsewhere with the criminal purpose and goal of placing a steady supply of vulnerable female children and young women into sexual servitude in service of Epstein's desires and those of his associates. The Epstein enterprise maintained and made available young women and underage girls for the purpose of engaging them in forced labor and sexual activities, and use coercion and deception to procure, abuse, and harbor its victims. A 15-year-old victim was forced into sexual acts with Epstein and others, and then attempted to escape by swimming off the island. Epstein and others organized a search party that located her and kept her captive by, among other things, confiscating her passport. So we can add kidnapping to the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump's closest friend, those crimes supported by the convicted sex trafficker, Ghislaine Maxwell, who Donald Trump has publicly considered pardoning. The Attorney General of the Virgin Islands wrote, quote, another victim who was first engaged to provide massages to Epstein was then forced to perform sexual acts in the Virgin Islands. When she attempted to escape the private island, Epstein and a search party found her, returned her to his house, and suggested physical restraint or harm if she failed to cooperate. According to that description by the Attorney General of the Virgin Islands, Jeffrey Epstein was a kidnapper of children, a kidnapper and raper of children. That's who Donald Trump's closest friend was. Trapped them on an island when they desperately try to escape, desperately trying to find a way to cross that 2 miles of high current, difficult ocean between Epstein Island and St. Thomas, a swim that could cost them their lives